everybody, it's your boy Billy, back from hiatus. This time we're gonna look at a Coco Jones type sample. Perfect blend of a nostalgic old school R&B vibe with a modern twist to it. Let's get into it. So starting off with our first sound from Sky Keys, the Beautiful Roads preset. Our chord progression is an A minor 7th to a D minor 9th into a F major 9th, and then going down the scale to a D minor 9th, D minor 6th, and a C augmented, and then back to home. So when I first laid down this chord progression, I thought it was a perfect blend of kind of an old school vibe, but then I also felt I can add some modern elements to it that we'll get into to really kind of get that Coco Jones vibe and feeling. So for our second sound, it's another Sky Keys preset called Rolling Garden, and this is what it sounds like. So it's a really nice pad sound that you kind of expect to hear, and kind of these like mix between old school and new school R&B. And I know it's a little bit offset, but once I add it in with the Rhodes, it does sound pretty complete and it's pretty blended. So here's what both of them sounds like. Alright, so let's look at the mixer channels for both of these sounds. My Rhodes sound, just cutting out some low ends. Here I'm doing some dips in the mids and the bass frequency again. Adding some reverb from Rev Spring and a little bit of compressor on top of it. For my pad sound, something similar where I'm taking out the low end, some dips in the low mid, and also a little bit in the highs. And then also compressing this sound to get the kind of sound I want. Both of these sounds are going into my bus. Not doing anything in that one. Where I'm compressing and I'm adding a soft clipper on my instrument bus. So then I wanted to add some guitar on top of it to kind of help with the melody, move the beat along a little bit more, and just kind of add some spice to it. So this is what my guitar samples sound like. And then I also have like a secondary guitar sample that plays throughout in like the chorus. And usually I don't keep an entire guitar sample in my samples that I kind of work with, but this one really fit in really well, and I decided to keep it. But you can see like I usually do chop my samples up, take different guitar sounds that I like, and just kind of blend them together, pitch them up or pitch them down, whatever the case may be. But this is what the second one sounds like. And into the mixer channel for these sounds, a little bit of EQ, taking out the high and the lows, throwing some reverb on there, and then compressing these sounds as well. Alright, so moving on to my vocal samples. Usually I'll kind of throw some like a hook or some vocals on top of a sample just to kind of see how a real singer would get on it, do a thing on it. But this one I actually like to kind of keep in the beginning. Coco Jones might sample some older R&B, so I was kind of imagining what if this was like a sample already and she was just sampling this, and then she used this as like a chorus or maybe even the pre-chorus or just an intro. So this is what the beginning of this the sample sounds like with using this vocal sample. And then the second vocal sample that actually plays throughout the sample. So pretty simple stuff going on there. For the first vocal sample that is in the beginning, some Altar Boy, a little bit of chorus, Rev Spring, and then I'm EQing it. Pretty basic for a lot of my vocal samples that I try to work with, putting in a mono state as well. And for the second vocal sample that plays throughout the sample a lot of more frequently, just doing a big sweeping cut in the midsection. There's some peaks that I didn't like, throwing some reverb on there, and then compressing this sound as well. And these sounds are also going into my bus one also. All right, next let's get into our textures, and I'll actually turn it up for right now so we can actually hear it. But for my textures, I just wanted to add something that kind of filled up some dead space in the mix, and also would kind of added like a melodic effect. And let's listen to it and see what I'm talking about. So really simple, and we'll kind of hear it in context as well later on. But that's the kind of vibe I was looking for as far as my texture goes. And also, I'm not really doing anything at all, just putting this completely in mono and just pitching, not pitching it, but lowering the volume all the way down. All right, let's move into our drums before we hit our bass. So for the drum sound, I actually was trying to kind of think about a hi-hat pattern that I liked. Found one on Splice, and I decided to chop that up. Took some parts out that I found the most interesting. This is what it sounds like. So real simple. And on top of that, I added like another hi-hat that was just kind of stable. That would just kind of play throughout uh, the rest of the hi-hats. So now it actually sounds like a full hi-hat progression. Just threw a snare on top of it. And then my kicks. So this is where that kind of mix of old school with the hi-hat sounds, and then new school with kind of exactly how the kicks are working with it, and the snare drum as well. So that's where I wanted to go with my drums. Let's look at the mixer state for some of these sounds. For my snare drum, not doing anything with the EQ, but I'm just compressing this sound, throwing some fruity clipper on top of it. For my hi-hats, I am just taking a huge dip in that high end, just because at first the sample was really overbearing, and I just wanted to kind of bring the intensity down without bringing down the overall volume. And I'm also compressing the sound and throwing some fruity soft clipper on there as well. For my kick, went through a few different kicks. Finally got the one that I kind of wanted as far as like punchiness goes. Threw some decapitator on there, a little bit of EQ, and then from fruity clipper. So, and I'm not using like a kick bus, or excuse me, a drum bus. All these sounds are just going straight into the mixer channel, the master channel. And finally, we have our bass sound, which is essentially just the root notes from our chord progression. This is what it sounds like. So really simple progression there. And for our mixer track, how I usually always do, I'll do a parallel compression where I have my main bass sound, and I'll kind of EQ it, tweak it a little bit, take out some sounds I don't like. Then I'll put that into a bus with either a decapitator and a compressor, or just a compressor. In this case, I'm using both. So my decapitator settings and then my parallel compression. And I'll usually take both of those signals and drive it into my my bass bus. And on my bass bus, I'll throw on a Pultec EQ, a compressor, and then a soft clipper. So that's all of my sounds and all the mixer state channels for those individual sounds. So now let's take a look at my master channel. And for my master effect channel, again using a Pultec EQ, an SSLG bus compressor, tape J37 from Arturia, a parametric EQ, and a fruity soft clipper. Pretty standard for me, is what I use on all of my my master channels, just to get that full loud sound that I like. Very clean as well too. For this sample specifically, I actually pitched it up by 3 semitones, and that's in my third bus using a sound shifter. Sound shifter kind of messes with your low end sounds like your bass and your kicks. So what I did was I essentially routed all of my sounds into like a main bus. So all of my main sounds are in this main bus, and then I route that main bus into my sound shifter, and then I keep my bass sounds strictly straight to the master. So that way I don't have to pitch up my bass sounds using sound shifter. I just do that strictly in the master channel. So for my bass sound, it's originally 3 down, and I just pitch it up 3, so it fits with the sound shifter sound. But enough yapping. Let's listen to the full sample in context. Alright, so that was my take on a Coco Jones type sample. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section and what type of sample I should do next. It's been your boy Billy. I'm out.